Thinking in the language that you want to learn will dramatically improve your fluency. And it's the same thing in English. Thinking in English can dramatically improve your fluency. And what we're going to do in this lesson is explore 7 practical strategies to help you think like a native English speaker. Okay, so welcome to today's Think in English Like a Native Speaker, presented as always by Mastering English Communication. Get your pen and paper ready to take notes. Okay, let's get started. So, what are the benefits of thinking in English? Effective communication, improved fluency, enhanced writing skills. You'll be able to express yourself dramatically more accurately while doing it naturally. You'll be able to speak much smoother and much more confident, thereby improving your communications ability. Last but not least, you'll be able to compose more coherent and native-like texts, sentences, engaging in the conversations that are being had because you're thinking the way they are thinking. So these are the 3 primary benefits of thinking in English. Obviously, there are more depending upon your situation. Let's jump right in. Strategy number 1, immerse yourself. So those of you that follow my channel, you've heard me say before, I live in the environment for one of the languages that I am learning to speak. And actually, I speak the language. I'm learning to get better. I'm on my own journey, along with you, towards fluency. So one of the tools that I use, I watch movies. That's why it's up here. I specifically prefer documentaries or movies in the language that I study, but in the dialect or the accent, if they're available, of course. And then, of course, I'll add here newscasts. I'm a music lover, so whenever I can listen to music, I listen to music, right? That helps me familiarize myself uh, with the language, and it will help you familiarize yourself with the English rhythm and flow. And also will help you with learning some aspects of slang because in many songs, you will hear some slang expressions. And then, of course, reading has not gone out of style. Reading books, articles, different type of text will help you dramatically expand and improve comprehension. So if you are able to afford one of these apps that will allow you to read or have the text in writing as the person is speaking, that's actually very beneficial because at various points you can follow the text, or you can actually go back after listening to it, read through the text, and have a better understanding of the message and the topic being covered. Next up, strategy 2, summarize content. You watch or listen. So you engage directly with the content. You want to be actively engaged. You summarize, you describe what's happening in your own words. So remember, you're trying to learn how to speak English. It's not someone else's words just because they're a native speaker. You're learning, so now they're your words. So you want to describe what's happening in the vocabulary that you have available to you. And when that is not sufficient, which it will be often, right? You're going to add other vocabulary. In other words, you'll be learning. And then you want to share. You want to explain to a friend for speaking practice. If your friend is a native speaker, even better, because they're going to be able to add to it for you, help you understand maybe an additional context, right? But if you don't have a native speaker, then someone who is on your level or above your level is going to be very helpful in terms of practice. Next up, label objects. Label everything. If you don't know the word for refrigerator, put a little yellow sticky note on there that says refrigerator, but also that says fridge, right? That may also say freezer. So you'll get to learn the words that English speakers associate with the refrigerator, right? Some people even say, I don't use this term, but some people even say icebox, right? It's an old term, but sometimes they use it. And then daily reinforcement. Notice your labels during your routine to reinforce vocabulary. Now, this may sound trivial, but it actually does help. You'll notice that you'll start to create grocery lists, which is another one, with the words of the language you're studying, which is English, right? You'll start writing out the lists instead of your native language, you'll start writing them out in English because you're going through and interacting with the items, let's say in the kitchen, that are labeled. So you're remembering everything in context. Strategy number 4, and I'm always alluding to this, converse when possible with native speakers. Find partners. They are out there, so there's no excuse. Connect with language exchange or tutors. Tutors obviously cost money, but certainly a language exchange, a little bit different form of tutor. You're speaking to a person that has uh, the language you want, which is English. They're a native speaker, but they also want your language. So they're going to be able to exchange that. If it's just 30 minutes, and 15 and 15. If it's an hour, half an hour and half an hour, or 30 minutes and 30 minutes. Practice regularly. So I cannot emphasize this enough. If you run out of time, which is normal if you're a business person, and you can't do your 30 minutes or your hour, whatever you have laid out for yourself, then fine, do 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Keep the brain working in your English language. Or as one of my clients once said to me, uh, because I've been an English tutor for a very long time, they said they called in and they wanted to speak that day. And I said, why? Because it was very early in the morning for them anyway, in their time zone. And he said, I want to wake my brain up because I have a meeting in English later, right? So practice regularly, right? And he was an excellent speaker, in my opinion, all right? But he had to wake his brain up because he doesn't live in the language. Focus on communication. Aim for effective expression, not perfection. Stop thinking about perfection. It doesn't exist even for a native speaker. Think about expression, think about communication, think about relating, think about connecting to the person that you're trying to communicate with and you're speaking with. Strategy 5, keep an English journal. Okay, some of you don't like keeping journals. I'm sort of like that myself, to be honest. But set aside some time, doesn't have to be lengthy, and write in English. So basically, the journal is you writing, basically practicing writing in English by writing about your day and things that happen in your day. Focus on the content, write about thoughts and experiences. Prioritize expression over grammar. Stop worrying about perfection of grammar. That will come with practice. Reflect and improve. So review your entries to track progress and identify areas for improvement. I write down short idioms and short expressions, and I keep them in my, it's like a small little briefcase that I carry with me most of the time. And then in my wallet, I keep an even smaller one folded up. And so I keep these little note papers that they're neatly folded, by the way, organized. But I keep them because it's a way when I'm in between or on the metro or when I'm not, actively driving, but passenger or something, I can take out my notes, especially if I know I'm going into that environment, and sort of study the things in a very informal, relaxed way. Visualization techniques. So imagine the scenarios that you're in on an everyday basis. You're going to eat, you get coffee in the morning to take with you on your commute. You make coffee in the morning because your commute is to your home office. Whatever it is that you may do, you're going out shopping, things of this nature, everyday activities, or you're going to have a meeting with your colleagues, or you're going to have a meeting with your client. So these are the types of scenarios you want to imagine and the interaction in them. Focus on details. Pay attention to the sounds and the rhythm and the flow of the native speakers. You'll find that if they're from different regions, the sounds, the rhythm, and the flow could be very different, right? Or slightly different, right? And certainly, if they're from another country that is English speaking, it's going to be different. So use it as a learning tool, not a tool to frustrate yourself and be confused, but you're going to be participating because you're an English speaker. As you evolve, the more you evolve, the more you will participate in this English speaking world. Practice regularly. Incorporate visualization into your daily routine. Number 7, think about daily actions. Start small with the simple tasks. Expand your vocabulary. I come in contact with new words every day. I don't remember them all at once, so I put myself in contact with them more than once. Right? But use some of these new words that you learn on a daily basis, but take 2 or 3 of them for argument's sake, and use them to describe some of your activities in detail. And practice consistently. Make your practice a daily habit. Even 10 minutes or 15 minutes is dramatically superior to nothing. And strategy 8, mindfulness and reflection. So now some of you are like, mindfulness and reflection, what does that have to do with anything? It has everything to do with it. Set aside time. Do your reflection in English. Remember, your reflection is to yourself, but do it in English. Focus on language. Process thoughts and feeling directly in English. Write it down. Journal your reflections to reinforce the practice. Now you have these 8 strategies here. What do we have to do? We have to put it all together. So surround yourself to the extent possible with English media. Practice regularly speaking and writing. Some of the writing may be business text, some of it may be social or political news, whatever works best for you. And then regularly speaking, as I said, tutors, language exchanges, or if you're in an immersive environment, don't shut yourself off, get out, interact with native speakers, make some mistakes, have them correct you, and evolve. And then, of course, reflect on your progress, because every little step forward, you should celebrate. It's a win. You're learning something new. You're becoming more fluent in the language each and every day. You will get challenges, so be patient with yourself, but be consistent. Think in English every single day in some way, form, or fashion. And then, of course, as you make mistakes, embrace them. These small failures are simply steps on the way to being dramatically better. And measure your progress. Set some goals for yourself. I have a program that I've just started on the channel. It's a 1-year program. So each month I'm releasing a video that allows you to implement some new strategies. There's some new tips there. And each month at the beginning of the month, I'm releasing a new video for that month. Very simple. And you're able to actually create your own customized plan on a bit-by-bit basis because I'm delivering that to you each month. Track your improvement and celebrate and reward yourself. Okay, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Don't forget, consistent practice. Be patient with yourself, but be persistent. Embrace the journey. And I will see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together. Take care, everyone.